Okay, hello everybody and welcome to our second webinar. So what we're going to try and do today is to explain about our new website and the new functionality. The new website's only been going for 7 to 10 days. Firstly, let me just introduce myself. My name is Carl and I'm one of the trustees of the charity Podium Partners. And the other person who's helping me today is Kirsty, and she's going to talk to you about marketing, and she's our kind of social media guru. So what we'll do is we'll both take it in turns to talk about different parts of the webinar. And then my job will be to explain the mechanics of how the whole thing works. And then Kirsty will talk about marketing ideas, etc. There's a possibility to do questions at any point in time. If you want to just type your questions, when I hand over to Kirsty, I'll answer any of the questions you've typed, and then vice versa. So who's this for, this fundraising platform? Well, it's for anybody who is involved with sport, either taking part in sport or helping to organize sport. And looking at the list of people who have signed up, we've got archery, county sport partnerships of national governing bodies. We've got somebody from local government, and then we've got rafting, tennis, football, squash, gymnastics, football, rugby, and the sort of amounts of money people are looking for is anything from a couple of thousand right up to, at the moment, 125, 130,000 pounds. So a fair old mixture of bits and pieces. So without further ado, let's just share my screen. So if I just do that, share screen, and I'll now show you the website. There it is. Hopefully you can see the website. Is that correct, Kirsty?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Right, so this is where we are. So let's start at the very beginning, how to maximize your fundraising. So the first point to say really is our kind of USP, if you like, is the fact that we can add gift aid to any donations that come through the site. So that means if someone donates £100 to your appeal, that can be turned into 125. Now, the thing to bear in mind here is you don't have to be a charity in your own right, because technically the money comes through us, which is a charity, so we can apply the gift aid. So for the first time, athletes, community groups, and non-community amateur sports clubs can get the gift aid uplift. The other thing that this platform does, it allows other people to fundraise on your behalf, which is a real bonus. We can also run events and sell merchandise. You get online training, such as today, plus there's other resources in the frequently asked questions bit. We get to use our regional and national partners to increase your own personal reach beyond your immediate crowd, which is a massive bonus. All of which combined means that by using this platform as opposed to any other, you'll get at least a 20% better return than you might through any other platform, whether that would be BT My Donate, which is free, right through to some of the more expensive ones like Sponsorize Me. Okay, so that's the background to how it all works. Let me just go now to the home page again. So let's start at the very beginning, start an appeal. So you've got an idea, what do you do with it? Okay, well, the first thing you do is you come here and you fill out the application form. Very simple stuff, usual thing, your name and address, what you're actually about, what your appeal is about, where you're based, and there's a drop-down list depending on which CSP you're in. What's the sport, if there's a national governing body, fill that in, how much you're trying to raise, description thereof, etc., etc., etc. And then crucially, a couple of referees. The reason we need the referees is we want to make sure that the donors have maximum confidence that this is a real campaign trying to do real stuff, and we can get that from the referees. So you filled out your application form. So that then comes into us. We then do the usual vetting process, etc., make sure it all stacks up. And then in the fullness of time, we make a page for you. And let's just have a quick look at this one. Let's have a look at Louis here. So all of this text is from Louis. And what he's trying to do, this young lad, in fact, he's got a video. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I was about 4 when I started swimming. Autism, it hasn't really got in the way of anything. It hasn't stopped me from working. It hasn't stopped me from swimming. It's not something what has holding me down. My favorite stroke would probably be front crawl. It's the one where I know I have the most experience on the end. So I would be really honoured to represent my country for swimming. For butterfly, it's normally about just getting those arms out and make sure they're on time with each other. And
we as parents are chuffed to bits with Lewis. His achievements in swimming. He's worked hard. He deserves everything that he gets through swimming.
So when I'm not at college, I'm normally working Saturday and Sunday. It's like a full-time there at work. And above all that, swimming.
So Louis made that video, and it's supposed to represent what he's trying to achieve. I think it does that. The message here really is the more information you can put into your appeal, and Kirsty will talk more about this, and videos work really well, the better it is. I'll show you this other one here from Salto, which is a club based in Birmingham, in Bedfordshire rather. They've got a different type of video. Watch this. It goes more of the same there. That's a much slicker operation, and that has its own kind of appeal. Louis was clearly homemade, and that was actually done professionally. But my personal favorite, and I'm going to share this with you because it just makes me smile every time, is this one. Special needs judo for rush judo. This is great. As you can see, it's a great video, and it would really get people engaged. But all of this information, all of this comes directly from the people who run the appeals. So photos, images, videos, and good text really get things going. Right, so we filled out the application form, we've provided the text, we've made the videos, we've made the page. So what happens next? Well, let's have a quick look at this one. So people can support an appeal in a number of different ways. Clearly they can donate, which is the most obvious one, and you would just follow the usual steps, however much you want to donate, whether you want to do gift aid, etc., and that's pretty standard stuff. But much more importantly, you can also fundraise on behalf of. If we click that, brings up another page. And this opens up a whole new range of possibilities. So instead of getting everyone just to donate to your cause, you can now get those people to potentially donate, but more importantly, start their own fundraising page on your behalf. So automatically, this is actually working for Save Our Squash Club because we've accessed it from that page. So you would just title your page, running a 10K or whatever it is you're doing, a summary of what you're doing, content, any videos, images, etc., etc. And then you would end up with a fundraising page, which we can find here. So these are a bunch of fundraisers who have just set their pages up. These are some from the past. So if I just click on this, and as you can see, I've got my picture in it currently because I set this up from the old website. As I said, this has only been going for about 10 days. So Rachel here ran a 10K on behalf of the Baston Hill Juniors Football Club. She managed to raise 1,300 quid against the target of £1,000. And that all went automatically into Baston Hill Juniors Football Club coffers. And this is their particular page. They've managed to raise £3,405 against their target of 2,190. So they're happy. So that's how you can either start an appeal, donate, or fundraise on behalf of an appeal. The other ways you can support an appeal are, if I could just go down here, so we've done donate, fundraise. We can run events on behalf of your appeal. We haven't actually got any going at the moment because it's brand new. And we've also got a shop facility. Now, in this, this is where you could design a T-shirt, let's say, that supported your particular appeal, and you could set your own price, and then these chaps here, community.co.uk, would handle everything for you. So they would hold the stock, they would do the printing, they would do everything, and they would ship these things out directly to the people who have ordered the T-shirt. So you don't have to get involved at all, and whatever the difference between what they cost and what you sell them for goes directly to you. So those are the main ways that you can support an appeal. So let's have a quick look at what happens. So you've filled out your application form. You can then find an appeal in a number of different ways. Now, clearly, they'll all have their own URL, their own address on the internet. Let's say you didn't remember what that was. So you could then say, well, I remember it was squash, so sport, S for squash, but I can't actually remember what it was called, so you could just click squash, and that would then bring you to the landing page for England Squash. And underneath that landing page would be all the projects currently running for England Squash. And there we are. There we have Dulverton Squash Club again. Or you might say, well, you know, I don't remember what sport it was, but I remember what region it was in. So I happen to know that Dulverton's in the southwest, and I happen to know that it's part of Somerset Activity Sports Partnership. And there it is. So again, we've found it that way. So there's a number of different ways you can find it. If you click on this tab here, it lists all the current projects that we've got running. Now, all these people came on board in the last 7 days or so. So these all these different projects, all sorts of things: judo, swimming, children with autism, archery. This is a gay, bisexual, what have you, football club, Dunstable Swimming Club. They're all doing their own different thing. And then if we go, there's, there we are, that's all of them there. Right, so, or you can have a look at completed projects if you wanted to get an idea whether or not your type of project was relevant. So we've got here a community project trying to keep a swimming pool open. They managed to raise just £21,000 roughly against the target of 25. Or you could go for, I don't know, let's have another look at something else. Bracknell Bees, they're an ice hockey club. My internet connection is pretty slow, I'm sorry about that. Again, their text, they managed to raise 7,800 against a target of 8,000, and so on and so forth. We've got, I think, from memory, about 35 different, maybe more than that now, in fact, 36 different sports that we've helped over the past, completed projects, swimming, judo, handball, I don't know, you name it, it's probably in there. So a real selection. So we've covered how to start a campaign, how to donate, fundraise on behalf of, that kind of thing. So what we're going to have a quick look at now is the blog. Now, Kirsty will talk more about this, but a very important part of the whole process is to keep people engaged. And the way to do that is via the blog. So these blog posts have all been posted by people who are running appeals. So the this particular one happens to be from the ice hockey team. They came to us because they needed to raise £8,000 to stay afloat, which they managed to do. And this is their video, which is the blog, telling people what they did. The squash club one is also viewable. By the way, when you make a blog, it appears in the timeline here. So here you've got all the people who have donated so far to this particular campaign with any kind of messages they put in. That's the blog that we just saw on the blog page, and so on and so forth. So every time someone donates, they can leave a comment. So that's the blog bit. It's all very, very simple stuff, really. If you want to create a blog, it's dead simple. You just click there and fill in the necessary. So title, etc., etc., etc. Video, if you want to add a video, pictures, that sort of stuff, and then press send. It comes into us. We make sure it's all okay, and then we publish it, and then it appears in the relevant bit. So it appears on here, and it will also appear on your timeline against your particular appeal. So that's that. I think we've also got in here the frequently asked questions bit. And that is split into starting and running an appeal. We've got a bit about supporting an appeal, and so on and so forth. You can read that at your leisure. We will update these bits with any sort of questions that come out of sessions like today. So if there's a question that has not already been answered, we can pop it in there. And I think that is pretty much it on the run.
Just one, Carl. You know the little the heads when people are doing their own fundraising. Need for a picture.
Let me just show you exactly what Kirsty means there. So if I pick, this is a good example. Okay, so when you have a sub fundraisers, if you like, this is the main appeal for the World Rafting Championships in Japan. So these three guys here are all running individual appeals, fundraising appeals, to try and help towards this target of £7,000. But if you wanted to know who these people were, you'd have no clue from these images here. So you'd have to click on them. Now, ideally, I know that first one is a lady called India, and I know that is a chap called Matt, and I know that's a girl called Beth. But you wouldn't know that. So what you would hope to do, in fact, I got it wrong, that's actually Beth. So if, I don't know which one of these is Beth, but let's say that was Beth, it would be great if Beth could have her picture in the relevant bit. Where is it? Where have you gone? There. It would be great if that was a picture of Beth. So if I knew Beth, I could go, oh yeah, I'm supporting Beth. I'll click on that icon, and then we'd go straight to Beth's page. Ditto, this one is, this is India, okay. As you can see, when you do click on a sub fundraising page, your only option is to donate. You can't then sort of add another sub fundraising page. You can only fundraise on behalf of a main appeal. In this case, the World Rafting Championships. Okay, right. I think that's probably it on that.
Okay.
Stop share. Okay, so now I'm going to hand you over to Kirsty. If you've got any questions in the interim, type away, and I'll try and deal with those while Kirsty does her presentation. Over to you.
Okay, hopefully you can see the presentation front slide. Thanks very much for showing us around the website, Carl. It's so much easier once you can play with it now. It's live and can actually sort of go in and out and start interacting with it. I think people can see the benefits of the new website, and it's looking really good. So sports funding, that's what we're all about, and we're trying to maximise that as much as possible for everybody involved. So I'm going to start even pre-launch, which some people listening to this webinar might already have their appeal or their campaign running. That's fine. This is something you've either thought of, or maybe some things that you could just have a little think about during these early days of your appeal. So you've probably developed an attractive appeal, come up like the squash did there, SOS, Save Our Squash, quite an interesting one. We've had things like Shed the Light on Marlborough Tennis, they wanted floodlights. Anything interesting like that will capture people's imagination is great. Something that will appeal and they can relate to is really good. So test out your ideas. That could be friends, family, people you work with. We're thinking of this title. What do you think? They might come up with something better. They quite often do. People at the club, members, committee, always start to get people involved, even from the outset. You need money for X. What are we going to do? Let's look at Podium Partners, and then start talking about how you're going to do it, where you're going to go, and the benefits of using Podium Partners platform. So we've said about, so people can relate to the story, and that's always good. And we've had a couple of campaigns that have been very good at breaking down what they need it for. So they need X amount of coaches qualified to be able to expand their swimming sessions. They need X amount of money for more pool time because they want to expand the club. If you can justify it and people know it's not just like the club needs money, they're much more likely to think, well, actually, I've been in that situation. I can understand that. That'll be great if there's more session. My son might be able to go. People can actually see the benefits of the campaign as well. So start creating that community feel as well. People have to feel sociable, feel part of a club. Which is why we all join clubs and are members of things like that. We like to be sociable and work together. So if people sign up to this campaign and appeal and think, well, actually, I'm part of this, they're much more likely to work for you, with you, and help spread the word. It's not all about them just donating. It's about them spreading the word as well and getting their friends and people they know to support the campaign. If you try and do the cold start, we've had quite a few people that have just sort of dived in, and then within the first few weeks they're scrabbling around thinking already what we got to do, who are we going to talk to. So much better to have all that planned if you can beforehand. Obviously, like anything, planning's the name of the game. So just think about trying to get that momentum going as soon as possible, and that could be pre-launch. You could start putting things on your social media if that's what you use. You could speak to your local leisure centre, put some posters up, go to the local schools if it's a young people's club, and start seeing if the schools might promote it within their newsletters, telling parents about the local club. Or think out of the box, anything that you can do to start sort of saying we're here. So it's a bit of PR as well, a bit of public relations, a bit of raising awareness. So it's not just raising awareness of the appeal, you're raising awareness of you, the club, your facility, whatever it is that you're needing. So it's a bit of promotion as well. The more people you're telling, the more people get to know about you. So it's a win-win situation. So yeah, take time to think about that, cultivate that before the launch. Okay, so here we go. We've got a little wheel here. We've found really, I think over the past, 18 months now, the people who succeed and do best and achieve their targets or close to their targets or supersede them, it very much depends whether they have the communication plan thought through. What are they going to do for the period of the campaign, the build up before, monitoring it throughout and keeping the momentum going, thanking people as they go, and then obviously finishing telling people this is what we achieved because you helped us, thank you for your help, is a perfect scenario. On the right there you can see we've got people that you can get involved, your crowd, which are members ideal. Talk to them. Lady that drops her child off and goes off in the car every time, just drops them at the gymnastics hall and never comes in. Pop out and see her. You never know. She might be a whiz on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook, or she may know how to do a video. You just don't know who is out there and what the expertise are. So start talking to parents, club members, your local NGB, see if they can help, your county sports partnership, friends and family. Anybody out there could be useful to the campaign, and don't be frightened to ask. So many people think they've got a talent in some way, and if they're asked to help, they would love to, and that saved you a job. They might say, well, actually, I don't mind once a week, twice a week, I'll put some tweets out about the campaign. I don't mind writing the blog. I could do a weekly blog for you. It'll take me sort of 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. I can just do that and say what's happened at the club. Perfect. That's another person, and it saves you the job. Okay, so try and get as many people involved as you can. Okay, so this is a little bit of a repeat in a way, but it's something you can digest a little bit more. Maybe use this to write against and actually put who's involved in your committee, friends and family that might be useful to help. Don't forget, if you've got parents of young members of your club, for example, those parents work. There's their businesses and the companies that they work for. So let's start thinking about involving them. One of the options is to run corporate events. So obviously through that, you've got a parent, you can get their company involved. You never know who's out there, and you might find a sponsor this way, or you just might find more people that want to come to the club. So your membership grows, or it could be that you actually get more donations as well, which is a win-win all the way around. Please go back to your national governing body, always get them involved. They've got websites, they've got Facebook, they've got Twitter. They talk to people who like your sport. If it's hockey, they talk to people who like hockey. They know suppliers, they know the network. So again, make use of those. County Sports Partnership have got massive databases. They can send out information to people, so they can help you. So have a little look through, but it could be the local school, your local parish council, your local facility. If it's a swimming pool, talk to them, see how they can help, and start bringing it together. Okay. So this is all pre-launch, but pre-launch first few weeks, but ideally the sooner you can get these things sorted, the better. So we've said about everybody getting involved, know your crowd, know the types of people who are going to support you. Have you got local magazines? We've got a chap who's a MotoGP rider, and we've now started communicating through social media with some of the GP newspapers that are online, and you think of the amount of people who go onto those and will read those for the latest article and the latest competition, who won, whatever, and follow their rider. If his messages come up on the feed as well, then they're going to see him, and we're hoping to get. We've had some sort of donations and correspondence that way. So just think, a local sports shop, they might have a way that they can help you. Putting it out onto their social media as well. So create some excitement, get a buzz going, talk about it. Talk about it at the training sessions, at competitions, tell other people about what you're doing, get the word out there. It's not going to happen without people knowing about it. A friend of mine recently is raising some money for Help the Heroes, doing an event. She was telling me about it, and I said, why don't I know about this? Oh, it's on my Facebook. I put it on my Facebook. One way you can promote things to people on your Facebook is by putting it as an event, a little bit like us saying about the blog, and then you send that link out to people. If you use it as an event on Facebook, you can invite people. Every single person that likes your page, you can invite them to that event, and they're going to know about it. So instead of it being, if I happen to read her information on her page at the time, I would get a direct message saying there's an event happening. This launch of this campaign is starting on the 1st of July, and I would know about it. So it wouldn't be chance. You would actually be telling every single person that likes your page. So if all your members were on your page for your club, then they would know about it. What better way than spreading the word? And then you can say, could you please share this on your page? And it can just grow like that. Offline, what we're talking about offline is the leaflets, the flyers, the posters, the talking, and also the fundraising champions, we've called them. But basically, that might be a little working party. If it's for Lewis with his swimming, it might be just mum, dad, him, and an auntie, and you might get a little group together. How are we going to do this? What are we going to do? It might be a bigger club, and you'll have a little sub fundraising group. The gymnastics club, for example, is quite big. They've probably got a few people that get together. I'll do the Facebook, I'll do the blog. Can you do some flyers? Can you write to the newspaper, etc.? And then you all take a little job each, because we all know that within clubs there's always the few people that have to do all the jobs, and that's usually the coach and the chair and the secretary. So try and get some other people involved and use their expertise and their time. And the message at the bottom there in big blue is donate and share. I always put posts out saying, please could you donate? It'd be great if you could donate, but if you can share it as well on your time and tell people about it, then that helps the crowd grow. Okay, so what have we got next? Oh, well, I think Carl's sort of covered this really. It's very visual. The website needs to be very visual. We're bombarded these days with words, pictures, videos, but most of us do like to see smiley faces, children in action. I mean, there's a 13-year-old on his BMX there, obviously quite a dangerous sport. I think he's injured at the moment. And the lad on the left there is only 14 as well on the motorbike, and actually he's injured at the moment. But you know, to see people in action, you know, enjoying their club and what they do, the little gymnastics girls we saw earlier in that clip, is perfect. And it makes it personal. People can relate to it much more if they can see smiley faces, or they see somebody enjoying themselves. They can they're more emotionally involved. Okay, so there's some clips there in the highlighted. You can have a little look at those later when we send this out to you. So during the appeal, next step, which quite a few of you might be at this stage. We need to keep that momentum going, as I mentioned earlier. Keep the posts going. They do say, you know, not necessarily daily, but if you have 2 or 3 club sessions a week, post every club session if you can. Just a quick picture, just a little comment. There's a competition at the weekend, but also in that, be putting a post out to saying, don't forget, we're still raising money for our appeal. If you can help us, we can get some starting blocks for our swimming club. You know, we need a new roof for our squash club. Just keep reminding people and keep it within that news and keep talking to people. I think that's basically, you're using the URL that we give you, because Podium Partners, even if you haven't got a website, will still give you that platform to be able to send out that unique URL, whether that's in an email, in a newsletter, or if it's out on social media. So on the left there, we've got somebody just sharing one of the Podium Partners Facebook posts that I put out, and then the one on the right is them doing their own. And the little pin button that you can see there is where they've pinned that at the top of their timeline. If you don't know how to do that, it just comes down from this little grey drop down, and it means it stays at the top of your timeline. So you can put posts in and they drop below it, but your appeal stays at the top. And that can just be for a couple of weeks when you're starting, that everybody goes on your timeline and sees the other information they're looking for, like competitions. Is it training tomorrow night? Is it cancelled? Whatever. They will always see that appeal pinned to the top. So that's another little tip. Okay, so during the appeal, we'll carry on here. We've got using social media. So you need to grow social media, get people in the club, tell them about you using Facebook or Twitter, or it might be Instagram or Snapchat. Tell them about it, give out little slips, training sessions, and say, join us, because then they're going to start seeing your messages. It grows and they can invite more people, and that's where the crowd comes in. Most of us sit there early in the morning is a good time to tweet. People say from sort of 7 o'clock in the morning, once people wake, first thing they do, grab their phone, start looking at social media. And the last thing at night, once you've sat down, end of an evening, you've had your tea, you'll probably pick up your phone and catch up with what's been on and what's happening or what's going to happen tomorrow, sort of thing, whether that be BBC News or what's happening in your local club. So, those are the good times to put messages out. You can schedule them. Just to ask us for more information about these sort of things, I'm just skimming over for you now, but you can schedule on Facebook, and I've put in brackets there, TweetDeck is a way that you can schedule posts. So if you said, somebody put their hand up and said, look, I'll do Facebook, they can sit there one evening and plan the whole of the campaign's posts if they wanted, or they could do next week's, and then they wouldn't need to touch it next week at all. A week later, they'd sit there for an hour one evening, half an hour, and they would put some posts together, program them when to go out. Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Thursday, 5 o'clock. You can program them, and then it does it for you. So it's not as time consuming as you might think. Hashtag hour, you may or may not be aware, it's like a networking on Twitter. Basically, I've put there, Salisbury Hour is on a Thursday, 8 till 9. You just go onto Twitter, you put in the hashtag Salisbury Hour, and you can start talking to other people in Salisbury. I'm just using that as an example, but it could be Manchester, it could be Shropshire Hour, Cornwall, whatever. It could be Hockey Hour, it could be Judo Hour. So you just join your local hashtag, and you can start talking to people. And again, that's a good time to actually tell people either that are local to you or that are interested in the same things as you. And you can tell them about your appeal and your campaign, and you never know who might sponsor or who may know somebody. It's a small world once you start talking to different people. Live streaming, if you haven't done it, it's great fun, and club sport is great thing to live stream. Just check with the people before you do, is everybody happy if I do? That always helps, although they go very conscious and they start being very formal. But just videoing people and letting people start following on Twitter takes a little while. You don't just do just a minute or something. You're supposed to do it for sort of 15 minutes really. So it could be somebody's routine at gymnastics, it could be going around talking to a crowd that are sat watching the swimming gala, for example. You need to leave it on for a little while for Twitter, for example, to put it out there and people to start joining, or on Facebook for people to start watching. But they're all really good ways for you to create a greater reach. Reach means Facebook and Twitter will put it out to more people. More people will see what you're putting out. That means it's not just the people who like you, it could be the neighbours, the people down the road, anybody who's on social media at that time. So all of a sudden you've increased from the people who know you to lots of people who don't really know you. First time they're seeing it and they're thinking, oh wow, I'd love to be part of this, or I didn't know that existed, I didn't know what they were wanting, that I'm going to help them, etc. Okay, so a few little tips there. If you've got any questions about social media and what to do, etc., I can fully explain all these in detail to you. So we've said about linking with people. Your partners, your supporters could be the local shops, could be local leisure centre, could be the schools. Don't forget your CSPs, your county sports partnership. There's a county sports partnership network website that has every single county sports partnership on it with their contact details. If you don't know them, find them out. Your NGB, go to your NGB, see what they can do to help you. And obviously, Podium Partners, we're here for you. If you start following us on Twitter, and if you like our Facebook page, you'll start seeing my posts going out, and you can start using them on your social media too. I think we're back to you, Carl. Had enough of my voice, so it's back to you.
Okay, so thanks very much for that. You'll obviously have to manage the mouse there. So we've talked about the mechanics of the website and the mechanics of social media. Now we kind of try and put them together and actually work out, well, how can we make this work for your particular sport? Well, sub fundraising pages, we've already talked about that, and that's kind of a mechanic really. But this thing could easily be used for membership donations. So instead of running all your membership fees through your, treasurer in the local way, and it might be standing order, it might be checks at the end of the year, or however you do it currently. CASCs, Community Amateur Sports Clubs, have been doing this for a while, where you split the membership into a compulsory bit, if you like, that gives you membership of the club, and then there's a voluntary donation which attracts gift aid. Now we can do the same thing on your behalf if you're not a CASC and you haven't registered with HMRC for gift aid. So we can potentially give you an uplift of anything like 10 to 20% on your membership dues by using this this platform. The other really good way of using it is for match funding. Now, a couple of you have applied for capital projects, I'm assuming, because of the large numbers involved. 125,000 for rugby, tennis, and I think football. And we've got lots of others in the pipeline who haven't attended this webinar. The only way really to reach those sort of large numbers is to have a plan for 12 months and to use sub-fundraising pages and to maybe get an event going that can engage with the local corporate community. And we can help you do that via this platform and via our connections. And again, if anybody wants more information on that, just drop me an email and we can talk about how to structure your campaign accordingly. Okay, could you go next slide? Events, just touched on that. Now that could be something as simple as a club disco, again on behalf of potentially a capital project, or it could be an event which engages the local business community in some kind of activity. For instance, I know that the girls running the rafting campaign are looking to set up a corporate fun day, if you like, where companies are encouraged to bring along teams. And they pay for that privilege, and that money goes towards their campaign. The same sort of thing could be done with rugby or walking football or tennis, or it really doesn't matter what the sport is. You can come up with an activity, and we can engage the local workforce through the county sport partnerships and their contacts to try and get more people involved and backing your project. And we talked briefly about designing and selling your own merchandise as well. Again, that could all be tied into the same thing. So you could have a corporate event with some specific merchandise relating to that event, and companies could buy those T-shirts, and you could have a supporters T-shirts and participants T-shirts. You could just, free reign, let your mind run free on this. Okay, next one. Kirsty's talked about how you've got your immediate circle of people around you through social media and Facebook and et cetera, and ways of expanding that through various tricks of the trade on social media. But one of the biggest ways we can do that is through the national governing bodies and county sport partnerships. If I can just, I'm just going to share a screen again, if I can get it to...
Hang on, I'll stop share, there you go.
Hold on. Do you want to continue? Hold on. Right, so I'll just go back to here. Right, can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so when we talk about sport and region, that's effectively the sport is the national governing body and the region is the county sport partnership. So under S for squash, as an example, again, Dulverton campaign sits underneath squash. So what we will do in the fullness of time is we'll get England squash to retweet. I'll put it on their Facebook to try and support this campaign. So in theory, someone in Aberdeen who likes squash could hear about Dulverton's problems, and they're based down in Exmoor rather, and they may think that's a worthy cause. So that's that, and ditto with region. Southwest, again in this particular instance, Somerset. So Somerset will tell everybody in Somerset about this particular campaign for Dulverton. So again, the reach, your immediate reach, is expanded beyond your crowd of members and families and friends and local employers. Okay. Okay, can we go back to your bit?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, see that again? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and the blogs bit, well, we've talked about that earlier, so there's not much more to say on that really. So we go on the next page.
Okay. Okay.
Back to you, I think.
Yes. Well, so as we were saying about the start, so building up the buzz, thinking about your network, your crowd, keeping the momentum going, putting posts on regularly, pictures, live streaming, and the last thing to do, or as you go along, you will be thanking people. Claire on the left there, and was it Justin, I think, on the right? They were very good. They're very successful, but they were very good at saying thank you. Justin here, particularly on the right, you can see he's actually put a picture of the people that have sponsored him on this occasion, or donated rather, and he's then mentioned all these people, tag them all in to his post, so all of those people are now going to know about this company and the good that they've done by donating to him. So again, it's creating this network. He's saying, well, I've got this platform. This person's donated to me. I'm really appreciating. So I'm going to tell all these people that I know about this and say thank you in a big way. So, you know, it's a case of, say, if you we will share, we will promote you, we will help you if you can help us. And, you know, it's a win-win for both parties. Claire was very good at saying thank you, pointing out, you know, that she'd nearly got to achieving her target. So that's really good to just pop thank yous up every now and again. Your blog could do that. If you had a large sum or a company, you could create a blog. So you could put the details of what they've given you, put the company details, put it out there. You've got a URL, it's on a website, and they could promote it themselves and say, look what we did. A lot of larger companies have the corporate social responsibility to either let staff go out and do volunteering or to support local groups and organizations. So, you know, there is a lot of that sort of help out there. So you've just got to actually go and ask, you know, and find out and say thank you to everybody.
Before you, before you disappear off of Claire's page, just so that people know, her fundraising page generated lots and lots of interest, to the extent that actually national footballers got to hear about it. And one particular footballer donated £5,000 towards her target of 10. So she completely smashed it. And that's simply because it was out there on social, people were sharing it and talking about it. So it is very, very doable. That's it.
Yeah. No, that's fine. As I always say, you never know who's out there, and you never know who somebody else knows, and that's exactly it, Carl. You just need to find that one, and like you say, she completely smashed it. But she was very good at regularly posting, regularly saying thank you, and spreading the word. So that was the thing she did right. Okay, so it's just a start, really. Initially, we had campaigns running which were time limited. We can have fundraising appeals now, which will go on ongoing. And that's one of the big differences with the new website and the new sort of way that we've adapted the fundraising process with Podium Partners. So it's definitely a start of the journey, because you can continue using the platform ongoing, and you can have peaks and troughs and run events, run competitions, and again use the platform, and then they may lay a bit more dormant in between, and then you pick them up again. So it's a platform there to be used forevermore, really, for the club, for whatever you need, because you're always going to need, most people need money, not just once, they need it again and again. So we've said thank you to the donors, obviously the blog. Tell people what you've used the money for. We've got a tennis club that wanted a large sum of money. I think it was 40,000. They haven't quite achieved that, but if they go back and tell everybody that, tell them what they've spent the 2,500 on, then the people still feel rewarded, that they've still helped, they've still made something happen, and it's still either contributed to the larger picture, or they've been able to use it for new nets or more training or coach qualifications, that sort of thing. So always just give back to people, you know, what you've been doing. Yes, steep learning curve for Carl, myself, and everybody involved, as it's such a new sort of way of fundraising using the online platform, crowdfunding, fundraising, and some of the new functionality like the t-shirts and things. So definitely something you learn and build, and then each time you have a little campaign or appeal, you'll be able to improve, be more slick, know who to communicate with, and know your crowd. And yes, I think that's about it, really. Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to send them in either via this platform, via the Q&A section, or just drop us an email on those two emails there. Give us a call if you want more information. Just either go to the website, fill out the application form, whatever. There's plenty of ways of communicating with us. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we very much look forward to helping you to get some money through the door. And thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.